My parents' families came here in the 1860s, 70s they settled in this county, Isabella County. They were of mixed heritage, mixed racial, you know, and then they lived there for a while, and they came up here with the whites and the blacks. They came together because some of them had intermarried and they were neighbors and this, that, and the other, and it's just for a better life. And then when they came up here, they settled, and then they, of course, they mixed with the local population that eventually came up here, and so they're still, to this day, they're still intermarrying. My dad said, you have to come from somewhere, you know, so we come from here, yeah, we say. But yeah, the struggles that they had to go through, you know, wasn't easy.
Mount Pleasant, because it's historically a white community, I think most of the community members really don't have a very good idea of just how diverse our community is becoming.
This is Isabella County, we're all neighbors. We run the same roads, we build the same bridges, we have the same friendships and relationships throughout the state of Michigan and the United States.
Even though in general it is a welcoming community, many different communities have different experiences within Mount Pleasant due to their various social identities.
When you have a community such as Isabella County that doesn't much differ from, you know, a very conservative agricultural base, and then you have a small area like the city of Mount Pleasant that has a very eclectic spirit to it, you're going to have differences, you're going to have clashes.
The first conclusion that's of importance is to realize that people of color, whether we're talking about students or faculty or staff, people of color have different experiences in the Mount Pleasant area than white people.
Everyone sees things differently. And I mean, yeah, it's always been a barrier. You know, even just doing regular social activities, like you may be the only person of color there, the only black person, you know, it's kind of hard sometimes.
We, of course, have African Americans and Asian Americans and Latinos in the community, in addition to Amish and other kinds of ethnic groups, if you will. But I think that the primary divisions here are between the majority white community and the Native American community.
Whether you grew up on the reservation or whether you grew up off the reservation, if you are identified as a Native American, you are a minority. People in Isabella County aren't accustomed to or comfortable with the fact that Native Americans are independent today, and they have careers, they're getting educations, they're building their own homes, they're not relying on commodities and federal assistance.
You know, there's a lot of people just in general that have assumptions or like stereotypes about people, you know, when they have people in their classrooms. And, you know, sometimes like the teachers, you know, they can't relate with their, like sometimes they can't relate with their students.
People at the university and others have tried to do some outreach and be inclusive. On the other hand, there are a lot of patterns that have been around for a long time that, you know, have sort of kept people out.
And I try really hard to just drop down barriers of myself to try and get involved and more active in different projects and different groups here in the community. But I do notice that I get targeted a lot too. You know, so when I go out of my way to join an organization that's, you know, a little bit different than what I'm used to, I get targeted because I'm Native, and they say things to me, and they say things about Native people, people who I know and I'm related to, and people who I've grown up with here in Mount Pleasant.
To be quite honest with you, I don't think very much has changed over the 20 years that I have lived here in terms of inclusion and equity. But I think one of the things that has changed is that there are organizations where people can go and be heard.
We are at the Diversity Block Party in Island Park in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, Isabella County. And it's sponsored by the Youth Initiative for the Michigan Roundtable in Isabella County. And we're looking for a way to kind of bring some of the people in the community together and bring some of the groups in the community together.
To me, the youth are, our way of kind of making our town a better place. And that I feel very fortunate that I got to work with this group of youth, because I think they're really insightful and they're very aware of their town, and they know exactly the things that maybe need to be tweaked and the things that need to be addressed.
Well, I have children. I want a place where my kids are welcome. I want a place that it's okay to have a same-sex partnership. It's okay to have multicultural families with ethnicities of children, blended families. I want a place that we could feel welcome. Even though we're an unusual and different circumstance, we want to feel like we're welcome here, and because we have something to contribute.
Mount Pleasant as a community, as far as the disabilities awareness and exception, I think is really good. I really like being in a smaller town where people are a little more open and a little more understanding to a disability, and if you tell them, not everybody will know right offhand that somebody has a disability, but if you explain to them, then they seem to be very compassionate.
Well, I know for a fact what I have found here in Mount Pleasant, I got help for in less than probably a month's time, where I was living in the Louisiana area and it took me 30 years that I was living down there and never got half the help and half the disability services that reside in this area that I couldn't get in Louisiana.
I think that there's nothing I can't do in this city. If I can't open a door, for example, people are always willing, people always want to help. And I haven't had the experience where I feel left out or I can't do something.
I think this, for the city of Mount Pleasant, it's very good. I think that one of the things is for the city park system, and they just added things to the park to ensure accessibility for people in wheelchairs and needing assistive devices. So I think that I guess to me that shows that the city's really cognizant of people with disabilities.
I probably went from, I think I was 12 years old before I saw an African American person, So it was not that diverse in the world that I lived in. Now with the university, all kinds of diversity now.
Well, when I arrived 9 years ago and we were driving up the main road of Mission, I looked around and I said, this is a bristling community. You can feel the growth underneath.
The fundamental thing that we all need to understand is just to listen. Listen to the experiences that people express that they have. Take that stuff into consideration. And quit trying to explain other people's experiences for them.
We have had different silos of different groups and organizations that have made an effort to bring people together.
Vision 2020 is a group of people put together, some in education, some in governance, and some in the legislative area. And we talk about what can we do to create a pathway over the next 20 years to make it a better quality of life here in Isabella County. And we include everyone in that, every township, every city, every village.
And I see this as an opportunity to work with an organization that has experience in bringing groups together.
One of the most useful tools is the diversity program at the Central Michigan University, and the fact that they're always inviting us over. And our students and our kids are able to interact with people from all over the globe.
Our communities are becoming more diverse, whether we like it or not. So if we don't build that kind of understanding and reach out to each other, we're not going to be able to attract the students, the businesses, the young people that we want to attract to the area.
The community needs to have this willingness, this openness to confront the experiences that other people have. And to recognize that you can't always generalize from your own experiences.
We need our people that have also that are positive role models or things like that to step up and to give back to our community, so that the children that are coming behind us and generations beyond that will hopefully have a better future and path that even we are living currently.
We owe it to them. We owe it to them to be the adults to stand up and say, you know what, we're hearing you, we understand this. We're going to do what we can to make sure this stops.
Let's get everybody in the same room, and not just the same players. Let's get everybody in the room and have an open and honest conversation and try to move this community forward for future generations.
This is home. This is where our folks are all buried, you know, and this is where we tilled and farmed the land and houses and built houses and things. So we've been here forever. Another older relative would tell me, you know, that, you know, our people came from, were pioneers. And if they could do all this, you can do it.